my biggest lesson has been I had been waking up at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock going, oh, I've got to tell Mildred that, the plumber's coming tomorrow and I forgot to email her. No. So I'd send myself into a tailspin and I'd go, no, stop. So at the end of the day, I take 15 minutes and I write myself a list of stuff that I didn't get achieved for the day. And if it's urgent, I'll go, you know what? I need to get this and this done before I leave the office. If it's not, and it's stuff that I can put onto my tomorrow, it goes on my tomorrow because I need sleep as much as any other mum does as well. So, and I need to make sure I'm on point for my staff now. I'm on point for my owners, my tenants, but then also providing them training and knowledge and all of those kinds of things is so amazing watching them grow and develop. Because none of the ladies, oh, bar one, sorry, had worked in property management before. So it's a big step, but it's people that I love and I trust. And that's my biggest thing.
Welcome to another episode of the Property Management Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. You know that I am super grateful that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to listen to this episode. And I am not going to lie. This is going to be a very special episode and you are not going to want to miss it. I love a good story, and this one has a bit of everything. It's got tragedy, it's got triumph, it's got resilience in bucket loads. And I actually ended our conversation in tears, but feeling so very inspired. My guest in this episode started her own business 12 months ago and has grown it from 0 to 176 managements. But that's not the most amazing thing. What is most amazing about this story is that she hasn't spent a cent on marketing. Yes, you heard me right. She's based in a large country town northwest of Brisbane called Warwick, and her marketing has been very simple but very effective. From pink t-shirts to sparkly cars, a great office location, and a little bit of social media savviness, she's managed to defy the odds and stand out in a very crowded marketplace by launching a property management only business called Star Realty. But the journey to owning her own business hasn't always been easy, and she's had some very, very dark moments. She left a domestic violence situation that almost killed her. And only just a few weeks ago, she had surgery on her skull to put in a couple of plates to fix injuries that she sustained during the tenure in this domestic violence relationship. And she was left to raise her two beautiful daughters without a cent to her name. She was forced to move back in with her parents and pretty much start from scratch. And she started in real estate, and I guess real estate in a way was her savior, and it was her primary focus as she fought to rebuild her life and provide a life for her two daughters. But I don't want to spoil my guest story today. I really want you to hear her amazing story in her own words. So meet Krista Going, the founder of Star Realty, and she now has a team of 5. Managements are rolling in the door, and she has major expansion plans underway. But let me share a little secret with you. She's never spent a cent on realestate.com.au. Doesn't need it. She's found her own marketing system that helps her rent properties within a week. She still follows all the normal application processing steps. So grab yourself a cuppa, find a comfy seat, and get ready to be inspired and motivated by Krista. Krista, thank you so much for joining me on the Property Management Podcast. Now, before we dive in, can you share with our audience a little bit about yourself and how you got started doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I officially turned 1 last Wednesday. I went out on my own. It's very exciting, very, very exciting. So we had a little birthday at work. Star Realty turned 1 last Wednesday, and I've been a property manager now for 13 years, worked for different companies, and decided a year ago now that I would take the leap and see where we went, and could never look back now. It's been a roller coaster of a ride, but one that I just definitely wouldn't be able to like say that I wouldn't do again.
So
So
tell me, yeah, sorry to cut you off there. So what made you or helped you make the decision to go out on your own and start your own business?
I think it was more the push that I wanted more out of the role that I had. And I wanted to be able to, I suppose, control or like how my work went and what was happening and how I communicated with my owners and my tenants. And there was lots of, guidelines being under a certain umbrella that you have to meet. And in where I come from, a small country town, sometimes it's as simple as picking up your phone and being like, "G'day, how are you?" Blah blah blah. Warwick's not so small anymore, but it's about having those connections with those people. And to me, that's how I build my connections is through having those conversations and making that time for people has been a massive thing for us.
Amazing. Now you've had amazing success in the last 12 months. I think you're up to about, last time we spoke was about 174
Yeah,
managements. Yep.
yeah.
So talk us through what have you done and what's working for you?
Definitely. So our biggest thing is obviously speaking with people, is having that connection, growing that communication, having an awesome landlord handbook. I have a really good template. I'm happy to share with anyone if they wanted to reach out. I'm happy to share with you. You probably already have one, but anyway, and it's just got like a little bit about, why I started Star Realty. So a personal touch, but then goes into like all the bits and pieces and added extras that we offer. And then, right at the back, well, when we've finished our conversation, we talk about, fees and, making people aware that, what they think property management is and what property management actually is are two very different perspectives. And I think if you can explain that to them from the start, it's so important that because some people go, "Oh, you just collect my rent." I'm like, "Bro, I do way more than that." I am like, "You're here and you're here, tenant, landlord. I'm this ham and cheese. And I'm the one filtering out what you need to know, what we don't need to know. Oh, the tenant comes in and says something to you, you go, yeah, no, that the owner doesn't really want to know about the fact that, you're growing veggies in the backyard. Good job. Thanks. And the same as when the landlord rings and goes, "Oh, how come my tenant didn't pay rent before the 15th?" Well, they did, but I dispersed this morning. So if you jump in and have a look at the app, all of those kinds of things, having those conversations with those people from the start and having that clear communication with them is just so important.
I totally agree with that. So that is like a property management offer you've created in your
Yeah,
handbook. Exactly what
definitely.
services and stuff you do, the added
Yep.
extras and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So it has, like what software we use, how they'll get all their communications, being open with them, saying, "Look, everything I can see that the tenant can see, you can see because it's all uploaded in there. You can see all their details. Obviously, the tenant side of things is a little bit different. And the best part about it is that when I go do it, I actually have like a dummy property that I have set up in Property Me. And I use that as my dummy and say, "Look, when you open this as an owner, this is what you're going to see. You're paid to date. Your tenant's up to date. You can see all your inspection reports. You can see when we're going to do your next inspection. Everything that I can see, you can see." And I think that's so important for them.
It's good. That is, it builds that transparency and ultimately that trust with them, doesn't it? So,
Oh, 100%. And especially for like our out of state clients who, might have bought an investment property and they've never set foot in it. They wouldn't know it other than the photos that we send them as they're, progressing, that they wouldn't have a clue at all. And so being able to upload all of those things in there for them to be able to see as well is just, second to none.
right. So what else? What else has worked in terms of maybe some of your growth strategies? How have you got to that 174 mark in your first year?
I think lots of it has been about we did a lot of free events. We don't pay for any marketing at all.
Yes, I want to dive into that.
I know
That's my
it's
next
very
question.
exciting.
Yeah.
So all of my rental properties have we've never paid for any marketing, but we'll get to there. I think it's about, obviously, we've got a great location, we've got an awesome window. It's about building those connections. Like we have like a chamber of commerce here, networking, and then just, I actually, for the first couple of weeks, just went and did letterbox drops and walked the local businesses, inviting them to our birthday, as well as, when we first opened, we had an open night, and just making people aware that we're not just another real estate in town, that we're a little bit different, because all we do is property management. So we specialize in straight property management. We don't do any sales here or anything like that. We have amazing teams that we refer to, but we are strictly property management.
And are you the only one in your town that's doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great point of difference for starters.
100%.
And I love that you're doing this simple stuff. It's not big, flashy. It's not costing you a lot of money. And let's talk about that. You've not spent any money on marketing, and you don't even advertise your rentals for rent on realestate.com. So how does that work for you?
Every property that I have gained, whether they have been, ones that have come across or ones that are brand new builds. So for instance, we just had 6 duplexes come up. Not one of them went on realestate.com. They all went on Facebook as well as Instagram. And we then put them up in our window and we just plaster them everywhere. I do not pay for ads on Facebook, and I do not pay for ads on Instagram. And I just share them everywhere. And then, it's really amazing. Like we had the most amazing turnaround with these ones. So we had 6, we collected the keys on the Tuesday and they were filled the Friday. And owners absolutely love that. Like no owner's going to be like, oh, you didn't really do that. Like, it's more about knowing that, yes, the demand is high, which we're all aware about, but also, there's quite an application process that we go through. It's not like, Joe Blogs can walk in and here you go, here's a home. We go through all the proper checks. So we do use Ticker. We do your rental reference check. You have to fill out an application form, your 100 points of identification. All of those things have to add up so that we can send the owner the portfolio of the potential tenants that come through. But not once have we ever spent any money on realestate.com or any of those kinds of things at all.
So social media basically is your marketing strategy, really. But do you do marketplace as well, Facebook Marketplace?
100%. Yep. So we use my private account for my marketplace, and then we put it on marketplace. And obviously, you're going to get some of them went crazy. They just went absolutely nuts. And, it was such a high demand for coming. And the best part about it is we just edit the ad saying open home Monday, 4:30 till 5, please call to pre-register. And they all do it because they're all obviously people are needing homes, but it doesn't cost me a single cent.
So do you use Inspect Real Estate or any of those platforms? No.
Nope.
So you're just doing it more just manually.
Yep.
That's amazing. That is.
So every property, we do have Canva. So it costs, I think it's $169 for the year. And the girls make all my beautiful window cards and, all of that kind of stuff that goes up on our socials. But other than that, we don't have any other fees that we associate with our marketing at all.
That's amazing. I do know some agencies do use just only Facebook Marketplace, and they find it works really well for them. And I've tried it a few times, but I didn't have a lot of success with it in my marketplace. I got a lot of tire kickers and people that probably I wouldn't rent to. Wouldn't probably rent to either. But then and you kind of think, well, I'm already paying for realestate.com, so why go back the other way? So talk me through the process. Say when you get a new management, what is your process from collecting that, getting that Form 6 signed to then finding tenants?
So we'll go through and we'll do a walkthrough, so a video walkthrough. We'll also do like your phone, which we all do. So there are some clients that have opted to pay, the extra to have the professional photos done. But majority of the time, they're happy with us taking the photos and doing the video walkthrough. So from there, it then goes into, the girls put it up through a Canva and they make it look all pretty. And then it goes in our window. From our window, I take a photo of it. I do a Facebook story. I do a Facebook Live, and then I smash it onto Marketplace. And those three things are absolutely crucial for us, because obviously our Facebook Live from the property gets them to see the area, walk through the house, know what they're coming into. But then your Canva kind of backs it up with, oh, yep, I've got to remember that. And then we just plaster it all over our page, over, Marketplace as well. So you only get one ad for Marketplace. So you put the one ad up for Marketplace, even if you've got 2 duplexes, one ad Marketplace, how much it is per week, fill out all the details. And then I just edit it the day before or a couple of days before saying, please be advised, home Monday, 21st of May, 4:30 till 5, please call to register. And we have probably 10 to 15 groups each time turn up.
Wow.
Yeah. And it has been fantastic. Like, I looked at doing .com when I first opened. And obviously when I first opened, the day I opened, as you know, I had 3 managements and I owned 2 of them. So the month was not great. And when I looked into it, they're telling me that realestate.com is $1,500 a month, plus then your ads and plus this and that. And I sat there and I went, but do I still have to pay that if I don't post anything? They're like, yes. I was like, so I'm spending this money that I'm not actually creating or making yet, but I'm not posting anything on there yet either, because I don't have anything for rent. So it's very interesting, because lots of people say to me, oh, do you have realestate.com? Because they come from the city and that's where they look. But as we're growing and building, obviously our Google, when people Google property management, we're coming up in the chart, which is nice. And people are going, oh, well, that's something different. Like, we wear bright pink shirts, and, we have stars all over our car. And, we just are a little bit point of difference, I suppose, in the fact that people get interested in that as well, because they go, oh, well, where's she from? So
yep.
I think it's really important that you can just go back to basics. You don't have to be spending the $750 on the premium ad on realestate.com for, you might have beautiful multi-million-dollar houses. Definitely spend that money for that. But for your nice basic managements that you've got that are your beautiful brick 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes, you can more than enough get the traction out of Marketplace. And set up the filters. That would probably be one thing I'd say to you, is in Marketplace, you can actually set up your filters. So you can see like how far out you can go and how far in you can go. So that might have been your problem as well. You weren't filtered out far enough.
Okay. So as in the suburbs you're talking about? Yeah.
Yep. So when you put something to Marketplace, you can say, oh, I only want to see anything that's, say, 60 kilometres from here, or 25 kilometres, and it'll filter through everything that's available in that 25 kilometre mark. So if people were typing in rentals, Gold Coast, rentals, Bundamba, you could filter it out that you only wanted it to go 100 kilometres. So only people who would actually write in rentals, Bundamba, it would come up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Any other tips like that for Marketplace? If you are anything like me, you think you know your rent roll numbers. Well, I thought I did, until I had a rent roll health check, and I was quite literally shocked. The money I was leaving on the table was astounding, and this is not something that I'm proud to admit. There were missed management fees, let fees, advertising, and lease renewal fees not being charged, and properties even without bonds. And all of this was happening despite monthly audits being conducted in my business. So how did I uncover all these gaps in my valuable income? Well, I had a rent roll due diligence from my good friend Tazi, aka the Rent Roll Queen and founder of the Tazi Way, a specialist in rent roll due diligence, business valuation and management rights. The Tazi Way is the innovative force driving the real estate industry. With 25 years of business and real estate acumen, they find gaps and risks in your agency to find undiscovered value. If you'd like to book your business in for a rent roll due diligence, head to the link in the show notes and mention That Property Mum for a 10% discount. If you're ready to be a super organised, focused and productive property manager, buckle up. because Colmio is about to revolutionize the way that you work. Colmio is the driving force behind property management excellence in residential real estate. Now picture this, a comprehensive end-to-end system designed to be the beating heart of your property management tasks, manage your properties, owners and tenants, and handle payments, inspections, and even marketing listings without leaving the platform. Colmio is designed to be an all-in-one solution to all your property management needs. And here's the game changer. Colmio isn't just software. It's been awarded the most innovative prop tech scale up in 2023. Yes, you heard it right. Colmio has been recognized for their groundbreaking approach to property management software. How good is that? So property managers, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, dive into the future of property management with Colmio. You can book in a demo with the team today and go in their weekly draw for a Prezi gift card worth $100. All you need to do is to head to the link colmio.com/thatpropertymum, and Colmio is Kolmeo.
Be very clear in what you're wanting or what you're displaying as well. So you know how like you do a write-up for your window, make it the exact same write-up. So people don't get a false perspective of what you're actually offering. Because I find that there are some baddies out there that are scammers and they're taking people's bonds, taking their money that, oh yeah, we'll collect the keys at 5 o'clock. And I always put down the bottom my phone number and my website. And you can do all of those things. You can't put your logo up, but you can put a little bit we always put a photo of me. Well, I'm always wearing my uniform so people can see it. It's just different ways of, I suppose,
legitimizing it. Yeah, making it legitimate, that it's not a scam.
Yes. Yeah. And we're not some backyard, bogan who has got the shack down the back for rent. And, I've decided I'm just going to put Billy Joe down there with his 9 kids and no smoke alarms.
Yeah.
You can't, trust me, it's happened.
Really? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. We see some good ones, like especially, like the old farm, Farmer Joe thinks that he can dip into the rental market, and you go out and you have that conversation with him that, the floorboards probably need to be fixed and we need smoke alarms in each of the bedrooms. And he kind of stands there, he goes, didn't have them in my day. And it's like,
yeah.
Unfortunately, we
kind of change.
Yeah. So, and some of them are really good. They go, send me a list, let's get this done. And then other ones go, yeah, no, too much hard work. And you're always going to have those landlords as well, no matter whether it's, normal marketing or whether it's just, day-to-day BDM. It's always about, reading the right client as well. And whether you want that A grade client, B grade client, or whether you want to take on the C's and D's.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I've just taken on a few farmhouses out west of here where we are.
Yes.
And yeah, it's been a similar situation, having to have those conversations about some of the maintenance that needs to be done.
Yes.
We do need to put in a working oven. Yes, the septic tank does need to work. So
yes.
Yeah,
or a front stairs optional.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I know.
Just jump.
It's scary. It is scary, some of the stuff that you hear that does not get done. So, well, let's talk about, so you sort of 12 months in now, maybe share, because I know a lot of our audience, they're either starting up or in the throes of starting up, and maybe share or want to start up. Maybe share some of the lessons that you've learned over the last 12 months, some of the things that you would do differently, or some of the things that people should definitely do if they were starting their own business.
Back yourself 100%. If you know that you can do it, put your mind to it. And I'm not going to lie, I had my days where before I went out, I would sit there and go, I don't think I can do this. But now I look back and go, you know what? I have a beautiful team of 5 of us now who work for me. I have got 2, like we've expanded into 2 offices, but it's all about setting that visual and that mindset. So I always set myself a goal for the end of, so close the business 24th December is like when we go on holidays for 2 weeks. And I always set my goal, my end goal for the year for that day. So having a goal, a small goal, so 3 months in, and going, okay, in 3 months' time, I want to have 12 properties. In 6 months' time, I want to have 20 properties. You know, set yourself some realistic goals. There are going to be days where you're going to sit there and you're going to go, you know what, I've only got this many managements. How am I going to pull yourself out, pick up the phone, call your support person, call that person that is going to back you, like email one of us, because we've all lived it, we've breathed it, we've had those days. But knowing that tomorrow is a whole nother day, and write it out. Like, my biggest lesson has been, I had been waking up at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock going, oh, I've got to tell Mildred that, you know, the plumber's coming tomorrow and I forgot to email her. No. So I'd send myself into a tailspin and I'd go, no, stop. So at the end of the day, I take 15 minutes and I write myself a list of stuff that I didn't get achieved for the day. And if it's urgent, I'll go, you know what, I need to get this and this done before I leave the office. If it's not, and it's stuff that I can put onto my tomorrow, it goes on my tomorrow, because I need sleep as much as any other mum does as well. So, and I need to make sure I'm on point for my staff now. I'm on point for my owners, my tenants, but then also providing them training and knowledge and all of those kinds of things is so amazing, watching them grow and develop. Because none of the ladies, oh, bar one, sorry, had worked in property management before. So it's a big step, but it's people that I love and I trust. And that's my biggest thing.
That's so good. A lot of people are struggling at the moment getting that staff and getting those support people in their businesses. So
yeah,
that is amazing. And sometimes you don't. It is better, I think, to have that fresh people starting from fresh without
influence.
Yeah, or bad habits or not wanting to change, and you know, getting some fresh people into the industry, I think is really valuable. So
definitely, like my mum, for instance, she wants to come do an interview with you. She booked hers today, and she actually wants to talk to you. I'm going to wreck it, but she wants to talk to you about the fact that she had owned her own business for over 25 years in town. We grew up here, and she went to semi-retire. She was done. She didn't want to work anymore. Anyway, I needed some help. She went and did her course, and you know what? She's probably one of the best PMs you could ever have, you know, and she's 53. She probably won't be happy that I told the world that, but she is. Yep. And she's amazing. But, you know, getting that different.
She's only 2 years older than me.
But getting that different perspective on what she sees and what I see is so good. And like the team that I've got now, we were just talking in our meeting this morning about setting up actual job roles for everyone, because at the moment everyone has different bits and pieces that they do in the business, and I think it'd be really important to start giving them some delegated roles. So yeah, and we're off to training, and yeah, so all sorts of like fun and exciting things are happening for us. But yeah, I think that's definitely a big thing, is having that support and knowing that you've got those people that you can call or you can email at any time.
Yeah, that is absolutely so important. And you're right, it's that mindset as well, because you're going to have some really challenging days in business, yeah. and if you can't pull yourself out of them and you start spiraling into that negative thinking, and then and you don't have strategies and tools to get you out of those, then it's going to be very difficult for you to stay in business long term, because your health will eventually start suffering.
It catches up real quick.
It certainly does. And now, look, I know you've been through some major struggles to be where you are today. And if you want to talk about some of them, I'll leave that up to you. But maybe if you could touch on some of the tools that you have used to help you get to where you are now with a successful, thriving, growing business, despite some of the challenging periods that you've been through.
Yeah, no. I experienced domestic violence and I got really badly hurt. And my beautiful 2 girls, who are my world, we lost everything. We came home with $3.56 to our name after being married for almost 10 years. it was awful. It was traumatic, but the the backing of seeing these tiny little girls, knowing I'm their mum, I'm their protector, I'm their world, is everything that I needed to know that I needed that push. So I did. I went back to work. I came home. I lived at the Gold Coast. I came home and I moved in with my mum and dad and my two kids. And I focused on my work. And that was my only focus. 5 years ago, my partner, my beautiful partner, my fiance, Terry, walked into my world, and he was the first man I had dated, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And, it makes me a stronger person, a stronger mum, a stronger, knowing that I can achieve everything that I've got behind me. And you know what? I'm not going to say it was easy. There were definitely days there where I struggled, and I was in that bad mindset, and I didn't know how to pull myself out. But I have an amazing network of friends and family who have backed me 110% the whole way. And I couldn't change it for the world now. So I think it's definitely all about how you're going to set yourself up, and what you're going to do and how you're going to achieve it is such an important step in your planning stage, definitely. And sharing those planning stages with people who you love and trust and know that they will understand everything that you're trying to achieve and wanting to achieve is so important.
So if you keep talking about work 24/7, if you're home late every night and don't have dinner on, if you have to pick the kids up late all the time, people will understand because you're building a business, you're growing a business.
100%.
Is that
100,
some of the stuff you did or do?
100%. There are nights there where my phone doesn't stop until, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I ended up having to, my partner, Terry, he turned around to me and he said, you know what? It needs to stop at a certain time because you're going to send yourself that crazy. So, you need to be able to go, okay, from 7 o'clock each night, your phone goes on do not disturb. If it's an emergency, please text. But if it's that much of an emergency, those kinds of things, they need to be calling, the police, ambulance, and the fire brigade, and
Absolutely.
then, call me. So yeah, we'll definitely, yeah, it's all about building that framework. Yes, there's days where you know what, you don't get to hang up the phone until late, but you've got to have those people that understand everything that is happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's amazing advice. You've shared some amazing advice, and thank you so much for sharing that story as well, because that it's so inspiring to see where you've come from, and to hear
yes,
and see where you've come from to the amazing businesswoman that you are today.
yes.
Yes, it must have been a journey for you, and I can only imagine what you've been through. So
It's been a crazy journey. It's been, some of the hits, like my eldest daughter Katie, she'd be 16 this year, and she was never meant to live past 2. And
oh my
she's
God.
she's had 52 operations. She's the most amazing, amazing person you'll ever meet. And she's actually down in Brisbane at the moment. She's becoming an architectural builder. So she's doing a building apprenticeship, and that's not an everyday girl job. And she gets told quite a lot. But watching her grow and develop and become this amazing young woman has just been second to none. And Tubi, oh, I shouldn't call her Tubi, she gets bad. Ruby is, our beautiful other girl, and she's in grade 7 this year, and she's just been picked for the rugby sevens, so she's wild and fierce and amazing little human. And Jake and April are Terry's beautiful twins, who are my kids as well, and they're just all growing up so quickly. And I just go, you know what, we're raising good humans. This is what I want. I want to raise good humans. I don't want to raise people who don't understand or have empathy or, want good work ethic. You want them to be able to have all of those things, and that's so important.
Absolutely. And you are very inspiring. You've got, the business, you've got the family, the blended family now.
Yes.
And, your mindset's so positive, and I love your energy. Every time I talk to you, I feel so energized, and your smile is makes me feel so happy every time I see you smile. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And I'm sure anyone and everyone listening will have taken so much value away from this conversation. How can our audience connect with you further?
Yeah, definitely. So starrealtyqueensland.com is my website. Otherwise, we do have Facebook and we have Instagram, or, hit up my phone. I'm happy for anyone to give me a phone call, a text message, set up a Zoom, do all of those kinds of things, because it's all about empowering each other. My pop used to always say to me that knowledge is power. So the more knowledge and the more experience that you can gain, and those little bits that you can teach people, is just so important.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining me.
No, thank you for having me.
Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.